Bump, bump,
Bump.
ba-da-da, bump,
Bump.
bump. Happy Bendies! We got lasers. Everything is right with Dodger Nation this Wednesday morning. Wednesday? It is Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant alongside Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. 3 in a row. They've won 3 games in a row.
It has happened before.
It has happened. It feels like it's been a long time since it has happened, but it has happened now. They take the series finale against the Padres. They have won the first 2 against the Cincinnati Reds, and we'll get into it. 6-3 the final score, but it looked good all the way around. Minus a few hiccups. Apparently, the Andy Pages base running gaffes have come back. But other than that, it looked great. We'll get into that. We'll get into Ohtani Day. He is on the hill today in the series finale. But first, I want to give a shout out to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. So you put up a poll last night, Greg.
I did put up a poll last night. It was a fun poll.
It was a fun poll. Are the Dodgers back? And the 4 choices were back, Muncy back, or fully back, and then I still need more. Yeah. Do you by chance have the results?
The results, I let it go too long, so it's still an active poll if you still want to go on it. But but it's for the most part. Back is 7.7%, so a little bit higher than I thought it would be. Back is at 7, so actually just back, not back is back is at 7%. Muncy back, fully back is at 51%, so that's the clear leader in the clubhouse here. And then still need more is just right behind it at 34.3%. So I think it's a little bit of a different. It's nobody really truly feels that we're back just yet. That we need Muncy back, and we still need to see more. It's a little bit of both. You know what I mean?
Well, and I get it, right? Because it feels like we've been here a few times in the last 6 or 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Where it feels like they've turned a corner. Like it feels like maybe they're on their way to being back, and then they lose 2 of 3 to some team that you just don't believe they should lose 2 of 3 to. Rockies. But they won 3 in a row. I'm scrolling here. The last time this team won 4 in a row.
Oh boy,
was
it's gonna be a while.
End of June, start of July.
Yeah.
They took the series finale from the Royals. They won 2 or 3 from the Royals. They won the series finale. Then they swept the White Sox.
Right.
That's about when things started to go south, by the way.
Right. Against the bad teams.
Right. Well, because Kershaw got his 3,000th strikeout, but Muncy got hurt that same game. That's when the 7-game losing streak began, right before the All-Star break. And then we know how things have been since the All-Star break. So, Parker, I assume you voted in said poll. Are they back? Are they back? Are they something else right now?
I did vote. I also voted Muncy. I think we've all been relatively on the same board. Like, we're excited to see certain guys come back. Kike, it was great to see him get the single, get to see him come back, just see a smile on the field. But overall, and I know that even Steven Nelson mentioned it yesterday, Muncy is kind of that guy who really turns things around and gets the lineup going all the way through. So I'm on that side. I'm voting Muncy all the way. But again, if we see some wins in a row before he comes back, then I think we can officially say the team's just back in general, and Muncy's the cherry on the top.
Well, Muncy is definitely close to a return. He was taking batting practice. He's actually swinging a bat, which is a big deal. When you have an oblique injury, swinging a bat is damn near impossible. So good to see that. That's definitely encouraging. I know that Dave said it wouldn't be on this homestand, but possibly on the road trip. We could see him back. So when they hit the road next week, going to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, there's a chance that Max Muncy could be back in the lineup. So that's certainly a good thing. In the meantime, the Dodgers put up 6 runs last night. First time that they have had back-to-back 6-run games in some time. And I have to go find the tweet, but I know that it's been a while since they have done that in consecutive games.
It's been a while.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a while since I hear.
Well, I mean, where do we start on this one, Greg? I mean, Andy Pages continues to swing a hot bat, although we could use him maybe being a little more heads up on the base pads.
We can start with Andy Pages if you want, but I kind of want to start with Clayton Kershaw.
Sure, absolutely. That's probably even a better place to start.
So Clayton Kershaw has been phenomenal. I think the conversation about him on the postseason roster at the beginning of the year and basically throughout the whole year so far, I've been very much in the camp of if Clayton Kershaw is in the postseason roster, something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. That was not anything that has to do with Kershaw himself, but that means that all of your starters just weren't able to get to where they need to be. And that meant Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani. And he's kind of been so good. I don't know how you take him off. Now it's all going to depend what he does in September, what Ohtani does in September, what Ohtani does tonight. All those things are going to matter when it comes to the pitching staff in the postseason. But for the most part, like think about what he's done in this month. In the month of August, he is a perfect 5-0 with a 1.88 ERA and 19 strikeouts in just under 30 innings. That
I mean, that's vintage Kershaw is what that is.
That was not what anybody was expecting. That means he was getting at least almost about 4 strikeouts per game when we thought it was going to be like 1, 2, 3 is kind of like the tops. I think he had 6 last night. Like it's something that he is becoming a kind of who he is. We talked about with Steven Nelson. We've talked about it here, Marcus. He's the stopper of this team, even though they didn't need the stopping last night. But when you need somebody to get a win, he's always right there for you. So I don't know, like the conversation about him on the postseason roster, him being in the starting rotation is a real one now.
It really is. And I don't think anyone, maybe outside of Clayton Kershaw, thought this was going to be a possibility. It felt like, this was a,
Sure.
Hey, we want you back. You know, obviously you've been a huge part of the organization. We're indebted to you. Let's come on back. Let's get 3,000 strikeouts. And then we'll talk about sort of what the future holds from there. But the fact that he has been, as you mentioned, he has been a key piece of this rotation. He has been the guy at times when things are going bad. He takes the ball and he gets the stop for them. He gets the win for them. All right, so Parker, let's try to game this out a little bit, right? If Kershaw is back in the conversation for postseason rotation,
okay,
how does this go, right? We know Yama's in there, presumably Snell, Glasnow. Does this mean Shohei gets bumped from the rotation and maybe becomes a bullpen piece? Although that has its own logistical challenges. I mean, how do we who's the odd man out in this situation?
Well, okay, so I'm just the way they've been handling this. So Kershaw had 4 days off before going into this game, and they took him out a little early. I heard Joe and them saying like, "Oh, we don't really agree with Dave taking him out there because of the type of game he was having." Does that mean that they're kind of gearing him up for, hey, we want you ready for the postseason, or is that just something along the lines of, hey, you're not really going to be a 5 to 6 inning guy when we get to the playoffs? It's a lot of questions when it comes to Kershaw just because of age, but the Ohtani conversation, we've had it plenty of times. When you saw Pryor talking about it on the Dan Patrick Show, I think that's just more fuel to the fire that they're actually considering it. And if he comes out tonight against Lodolo and doesn't give like a solid performance, it's just going to make us talk about it even more on the Blue Review tomorrow.
Well, and that's the thing, Greg. I mean, Ohtani's last couple of starts haven't been great. I mean, last time he was out there, he got knocked around literally and figuratively by the Rockies. Yeah. I mean, he takes that line drive off his leg and guts it out, but it was not particularly great the last couple of times out. I mean, I go back the start against the Angels. It gives up 4 in 4 1/3. He had the 7 strikeouts, which was nice. Look, I know that they're not expecting him to be the stopper, Greg. I know they're not expecting him to come out and give you 6 or 7 innings. But I do think they would prefer to see a few more quality outings, knowing that, right now his games are essentially bullpen games.
So this is where I struggle too, is because if you want to talk about the Angel game, he was actually dealing for the first 4 innings. They put him into the 5th inning for the first time, and he couldn't get out of it. That obviously is a problem. He needs to be able to get through 5 innings, and he still has not gotten through 5 innings after the Rocky start. So it's still something that he needs to be able to get to, but the stuff is so much better. So the velocity. He's still missing a pitch. He's still missing throwing that splitter. I don't know if he's going to throw the splitter at all this year, but it might be next year, but he's still missing a pitch too. And at the same time, everything I know about Shohei Ohtani is that in big moments, he steps up. In big spots, he is phenomenal and amazing. And so it's kind of hard for me to say, no, don't put that guy out there in a must-win game. You have to maneuver it in the right way, though. So even if you want to put him in the bullpen in some senses, you have to maneuver it. Because if he's never going to pitch back-to-back days. I can't imagine that happening at all in the postseason. So he has to pitch on one day. Whether a starter or out of the bullpen. And if that's what happens, the next day has to be an off day. So that means that wherever the off day lands in like, let's say it's the division series, he has to pitch the day before that so he can still stay in the lineup because now they're taking him out of the lineup the next day. The ramp up process for coming out of the bullpen is very, very, very different than it is to be a starter. And he is stretched out to be a starter right now, or stretching himself out to be a starter. All of it just is kind of, I can see him doing the Walker Buehler type thing where he comes in at the game 7 to close out a series, and then you have off days after that. I can see that happening where he comes out of the bullpen, but otherwise I don't see him doing anything other than a starter. But if Kershaw is a starter, does he not pitch at all? And they just use him in that bullpen to close out a series. I don't know. It's very confusing. It makes it gets, what do people say? Galaxy brain, where I don't know. There's too much to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you thinking about this?
I can't envision Shohei right now, as of this moment, being in the rotation, just because so far he hasn't shown an ability to get through 5 innings. Right? I think that's got to be prerequisite number one, is that you've got to feel comfortable with a guy getting you through at least 5, ideally 6, right? But at least 5, and Shohei hasn't gotten there. So that right now sort of keeps him out of the mix for me. And so I think, you're looking at right now a 4-man rotation in some order, probably Yama in game 1, Glass now in 2, Snell in 3, although I can flip-flop those. I mean, I think right now Kershaw, if he is in, is your number 4 guy. But, now you do have to figure out bullpen, right? I mean, so obviously guys like, Kasperius, Wroblewski, I guess Shohei to an extent comes out of the bullpen. But to your point, the ramp-up is different, especially when you are a hitter, right? Like, you can't necessarily run out to the bullpen and start taking tosses. If an inning goes long, then would you have Shohei run in from the bullpen to like grab a bat and a helmet in the middle of his warm-up tosses? I mean, I think logistically there are some difficulties with that. So this is a problem. I think it's a good problem to have that we're talking about it. And this is why Andrew Friedman gets paid dump trucks full of money. But yeah, it's definitely a thing that's going to be discussed. We got to figure this out.
Well, luckily we don't have to be the ones to figure this out, but we will talk about it incessantly. So you don't have to worry about that. It's a very interesting part of all of what's going on here, and it's really fun to watch. Because watch what happens. Shohei is going to go out there. He's going to get through 5. He's going to have something like 8, 9, 10 strikeouts, and he's going to give up a 1 run. And we're going to be like, well, remember that whole thing we talked about yesterday?
Forget all that.
It was just so good that how do you not put him in the rotation? I think that's what I'm kind of waiting to see through the end of September is this going to be, how do you not, it's going to come down to that. How do you not put this guy in the rotation is kind of what we're looking at here. Which guy steps up and does that? Kershaw did it in August. Let's see what Ohtani does in September.
Yeah, I do love this comment from JF in the chat. Don't worry, the Dodgers will have analytics software make the playoff starters' decisions. This rotation brought to you by Grok or something like that.
Hey, if Elon's willing to pay it, I guess.
I guess. All right, yeah. So that's obviously a big headache.
Yes.
I don't really know. I mean, I feel like this conference, we can go round and round on this. We're not gonna come up with
let's go to Pajes. Let's
go to Pajes. So, Parker, Greg mentioned last night in the chat. Pajes' bat is back. Pajes' base running also back. I guess this is. as much as we've seen growth from him, and he's had an amazing season, I do feel like there are always going to be things we have to live with Andy Pages, and maybe the occasional toot blonde is going to be one of those.
I mean, well, yeah. What was it yesterday? I think it was National Dog Day. I think Andy Pages, of all guys on this team, is the biggest dog when it comes to just he's all ball. That's really all he cares about. He doesn't really need to talk about much, talk to media unless it's like mandatory. He's just let me go out there and hit. And I mean, he's in some pretty elite company. I saw yesterday when you look at like Dodgers history, players 24 or younger with at this point 23 home runs, 75 RBIs, and 45 extra base hits in a season. You look at the names: Cody Belongia, you got Matt Kemp, Adrian Beltre, and some names like Duke Snyder, who of course Piazza's down there as well. Raul Mondesi, some big names. Pages is slated to be really a superstar if he really locks in terms of some of those small mistakes. But outside of that, you can still win games with those occasional toot blondes. What you see from the bat going into August and heading towards September, I think is such a great sign. He's just following suit with the big fish like Mookie and Freddie, who are continuously hitting, and Pages is following suit.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I would like Greg to see him just have one consistent spot in the lineup, right? Because and I know some of these guys move. I know Freeman moves, Will Smith, but they're still generally in that 3-4 range.
Yeah,
Pages, we can see him hit 6th, we can see him hit 8th, we've seen him hit. I mean, I would love for them, and maybe it happens when Muncy comes back, but just give him a consistent spot in the batting order so he can kind of get locked into what he's going to do.
Yeah, no, it would be nice, but there's also something to be said for having him in that bottom part of the lineup. So you have a bigger bat in the bottom that can help turn that lineup over and move them into something else. Because think about it. So last night your lineup was Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Teo. That's gonna be 1 through 5 in some order for the most part. And when Muncy comes back, probably in the 6th spot. Maybe he's 5th every once in a while. I mean, it's kind of will just depend. But then it really is between Pages that he's gonna be around 7 anyway. I mean, no matter once Muncy's back, I don't see him any higher than 7. Oh, geez, don't be that. Our 13-year-old doing 6'7". Get out of here.
Hey, we got to get with the times, Greg. We got to get with the times.
We are trying to get younger. These are what our meetings are all about. Getting younger for YouTube and all that. 6'7". A 41-year-old doing that is just awful.
Listen, if you got a guy at 6'7" who's hitting 18 home runs at home and like nearly a 315 average. Thank you. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah. And I'm fine. Honestly, if 7 is the spot that he lands at, that's fine. I think I think we just want, at least I just want, I shouldn't put it on everybody, this lineup consistency, right? So you sort of know where things are going to be. And maybe part of that is just getting healthy, right? Like when you've got Muncy back, now that Kike Hernandez is back, whatever role he's going to play, when Ha-Seong Kim gets back, which hopefully is going to be sometime soon, eventually Tommy Edman is back. So I think once you sort of get that healthy lineup, you can sort of have that consistency up and down the batting order. Because right now, I mean, it feels like a shuffle between Pages, Conforto, Freeland, Rojas when he's in there, Alex Call when he's in there. You just kind of never really know until you see the lineup posted where guys are going. You know what it feels like? It feels like the Don Mattingly days, because my thing about Don Mattingly is that I just felt like he pulled his batting order out of a hat every day.
He shook around a hat. He's like, let's go.
Put 9 names in a hat, just shook it up, and is like, all right, this is what we're doing today, guys. Go for it. Like, that's kind of what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
With better results, by the way, than Mattingly ever got.
Yes, much better than Mattingly ever got. But like, think about what we're doing here. Like, it really feels like everything is starting to come. I know we said this before, and then when there was injuries and things were happening. And by the way, hopefully everything is okay with Alex Call. Yeah. He did hurt himself coming out, scoring in, I forget what, I think 7th inning, somewhere around there. Hopefully he is okay, and that's going to be all right. But and also Vezina went on the injury list. So it's more injuries, but it does feel like everything is starting to really, really come together. And it all starts with the pitching staff. The pitching staff is all healthy all the way through, and that's amazing. Now that you have Ohtani and Kershaw and Sheehan all pitching really well. You have basically your 6-man rotation again. And then the lineup is everybody's kind of hitting again. The dog days of summer, the June gloom, July gloom, August, whatever you want to call it, is all starting to fix itself. Your bullpen is starting to look good. I know that Kasperius gave up the home run, but he came back right after when strikeout. So he's been starting. Everything is kind of all working in the right direction now. We still need more, and that's why the back conversation started. But it's all coming back. Muncie's on his way back. Edman's on his way back, and now we're going to start talking about how do you have Edman in the 9 spot? How do you have Pages in the 8th spot? Why is Conforto still playing when Kike is getting 3 hits every game? These are the types of things that are going to be happening, and it's really, really fun to get back to this type of baseball.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I don't think it's a coincidence, by the way, that the bullpen has gotten better as the starters have gotten better. As guys are getting healthier, they're going deeper into games, and now you're not necessarily relying on 5 or 6 relievers to get you through, 4 or 5 innings, something like that.
Did we mention Vesia?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah. I was tapped in with the chat here, and I forgot all about Vesia.
So he's on the IL right now with an oblique strain. So, fingers crossed that it is not serious, that he can come back in relatively short order. So we shall see. Series finale tonight, 5:40 first pitch from Dodger Stadium, and it's Shohei Ohtani, as we mentioned, going against Nick Lodolo, who making his first start since August 4th, has been on the injured list, so he is just returning. Did face the Dodgers at the end of July,
and got shoved.
Absolutely. Got a no decision. 11 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. The Dodgers would eventually go on to win that game, but not for any lack of effort on Lodolo's part.
Well, that's just what happens when, of course, he's speaking of Damian High School. We got an alum here sitting next to me and producer Anthony. That's what happens when these hometown guys come to LA. They just shove. So shout out Damian, class of 2016, Slime Dolo, as they call it.
I mean, it's I want to have some sort of rule that LA guys can't pitch or play, can't pitch or play against the Dodgers, man, because where's Pete Crow Armstrong gone since he played the Dodgers? He's kind of fallen off a cliff, right? When he played the Dodgers, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. So we don't need any more of that. So anyway. 5:40 first pitch tonight. Ohtani versus Lodolo. The Dodgers trying to go for the sweep. Would be the first time the Reds would have been swept in a season.
Let's get it
this season if the Dodgers can get the win. So
let's get that sweep. And remember, next week,
6:30.
Set your alarms.
Set your alarms. Starting Tuesday, September 2nd. We will be on at 6:30 to 6:55 a.m. But in the meantime, that'll do it for this edition of the 8:30 variety of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around. First pitch coming up with Travis and DeMarco and Bergman. Back with you tomorrow here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. For Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to LAX. Been the Blue Review. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Talk about what happened today. See you then, everybody.
See ya.
6, 7.
6, 7.